Hey guys, and welcome to the battle phase. Today we are taking a look at a planned combo deck. And if you haven't heard about any plant, you have sure heard about Lonefire Blossom, the pinnacle of all really good plant decks. I'm pretty sure you have seen countless of hard, grandiose plant combos that start from a single Lonefire Blossom and then develop those grandiose, ginormous boards going through half of the deck and setting up infinite negates. Well, in this variation of the plant combo deck, we will try to maybe perform a more compact combo that will in turn be a little bit shorter and not so big on scale, and will play then mostly on our opponent's turn. So we're going to do minimal setup during our turn to then try to interrupt our opponent during his turn doing plays then. So, first of all, I would like to mention that this deck is built around only one streamline combo. So it is not a diverging path or anything like that. It can be, but if we can, we will always want to perform one combo. And that combo is featured in the combo tutorial video. The link will be in the description below. It is maybe important for you to visit the combo first, because all the deck choices and the card choices in the deck are based solely around executing that one combo. So without further ado now, let's see what do we need to set up to complete the combo. So all we need to do, so all the deck needs to really do is get us to a Crystron Halqui-Fibrax and a level 2 non-tuner on the board, and from there it is full combo. So the point of this deck will be to try to get us to this board state so we can full combo from there. Now, this deck is built around a way that if we open well enough, we can also maybe protect ourselves from some hand traps, because usually these big combo decks obviously get destroyed by a single hand trap. If you open well enough, this deck is designed to protect us against such hand traps. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, starting up with the MVP. As you might have guessed it, we run 3 copies of Lonefire Blossom. You can tribute a plant and summon any plant from our deck. As you have guessed it, this card is a 1-card combo. So this card brings us to the Halqui-Fibrax and the level 2 non-tuner extender by itself. So that is why it is very nice to open this card. We have, in this deck, we run 43 cards, so we have a 31.6% of chance to open at least one in our opening hand. So every third of the time, we will be able to combo off of one singular Lonefire Blossom. Now, this deck, like any big combo deck, does run a big number of bricks, but we still run 43, so closer to 40, because how imperative it is to see Lonefire Blossom in our opening hand. Now, of course, 30% is not going to happen all the time, so that's why we have to run other starters, and these will be other planned starters. And the role of these is going to be filled by 3 copies of Predaplant Orphis Scorpio and 3 copies of Evil Thorn. So these are also our starters. Predaplant Orphis Scorpio is going to discard a card to summon Predaplant Darling Cobra from the hand, Darling Cobra from the deck, and then Darling Cobra is going to in turn search as instant fusion. So a lot of setup, a lot of value here. Evil Thorn will tribute itself to get us 2 copies of Evil Thorn from our deck to the field. So the important thing that these do is they make 2 copies out of themselves. So you basically waste your normal summon to get 2 plants on the field. Sadly, these are not as good as Lonefire Blossom, and you will have to open 1 extender plus these plant starters to get us to our full combo. But don't worry, we do run lots of those. So to open one of these 9 plant starters, we have a 71.1% chance. So 70% chance to open these. That's not the best, but we can get to the combo if we open enough extenders as well, as I will show in the following extender section. So these are our plant starters, so we want to see at least one of these in our opening hand. Now, since this is a combo deck, we obviously do need to run engine requirements or bricks that we pull from the deck. So let's go over them. First of them is Predaplant Darling Cobra. This one will be pulled from the deck via Orphis Scorpio, and then it will be able to add our instant fusion to our hand, which will in turn extend our combos further. We also run one copy of Sweet Corn. Now, you've probably never seen this card before. Sweet Corn is here only because it is a level 2 non-tuner plant. That's all it does, because Lonefire Blossom, at the end, when we get to the Crystalline Hulky Fibrex, Lonefire Blossom will sack itself in order to bring Sweet Corn from the deck that will be a level 2 non-tuner, so we are set up for the combo. It's there only for that reason. Next is one copy of Black Garden that will be searched by the Garden Rose Maiden during the combo. And then we run a combination you're quite familiar with probably, and that is one copy of Red Rose Dragon and one copy of Rocks Rose Dragon. So you might be familiar with these two cards from the base decks, and we will do similar shenanigans in this deck as well. Rocks Rose Dragon will in turn search Basil Rose Shoot, and we do not only play one, but we play two copies. One for the combo and then one for the follow-up. We also play one copy of Fairy Tale Snow. We will be sending this card to the graveyard via Shooting Riser Dragon during our opponent's turn, so it will be another handy interruption. And of course, what deck would be complete without one copy of Artifact Sight? This combo does indeed sight lock our opponent. Now we're going to say this is a lot of bricks, and yes it is. We do have a 75% chance to open one brick in our opening hand. But that is not that bad because most of these are soft bricks. What does that mean? That we can still combo even if we draw them. For instance, if we take a look at Sight, if we draw Sight, well then Dagda's not going to set it from deck, we'll just set it from the hand. Black Garden, Garden Rose Maiden will not search it, we will just activate it from our hand. Instant Fusion, Cobra will not search it, we'll just have to activate it from the hand. You know, all of these are basically cards that do give us a -1 because we would anyway get them, but we just open them in our hand instead of another card. But we can combo with them. The only two that we really don't want to draw is Predaplant Darling Cobra, because Orpheus Scorpio cannot summon it from the hand, and Red Rose Dragon, because it is summoned by Crystalline Hulky Fibrex, and Crystalline Hulky Fibrex can only summon from deck. So this is the only ones we really don't want to see. Otherwise, opening a brick is fine. It's not that big of a deal at all. As I've mentioned, Evil Thorn and Predaplant Orpheus Scorpio are going to also require a extender to do full combo. So we run a bunch of them. Our first extenders are Black Wind, Gust, the Back Blast. So you probably haven't seen this one before. This is a level 2 dark non-tuner that you can special summon from the hand if you control no cards. Very simple. Next, we run 3 copies of Caligo Clawcrow, another dark level 2 non-tuner extender that can special summon itself from the hand if you control a dark. Very simple. And let me remind you, all of our starters and extenders are darks. Then we run 3 copies of Weeping Idol, another level 2 dark non-tuner. You can special summon this one from your hand by banishing a tuner. And the last one is 3 copies of Dark Rose Fairy, another level 2 dark non-tuner that can special summon from the hand when you special summon a tuner. Since in this deck we do have to set up a Crystalline Hulky Fibrex, we will have a tuner in the grave for Weeping Idol, and we will special summon a tuner for Dark Rose Fairy. These do, however, require the Crystalline Hulky Fibrex first. More convenient are Caligo Clawcrow and Backblast because they are a lot more generic and we don't need any setup to special summon them. Why are all our extenders level 2? Because we could find like a sea of better extenders that are not level 2. Well, one of the reasons is because, as I've mentioned, we do need to set up a Hulky Fibrex and a level 2 non-tuner to do a full combo. So if we get to the Hulky Fibrex, we can just use these extenders and do full combo. And the second reason is gonna come up very, very shortly. And that is a small resonator package. We do play a small resonator package consisting of 3 copies of Red Resonator, 3 copies of Resonator Call, and then 1 copy of Crimson Resonator. Very interesting. Red Resonator, when he is normal summon, you can just special summon a level 4 from your hand. So it is an extender. Crimson can special summon if you control no cards. So another extender. And Resonator Call can add any Resonator from our deck to our hand. Okay, so these work as extenders anyway. For instance, summoning the Red Resonator, triggering effect Evil Thorn. So we have a starter and an extender. So that's full combo already. But another reason is that they are tuners this time, because we If we open well enough, we can get a level 2 non-tuner extender, if we open too many of them, and a level 2 tuner, that is a resonator, and we can sync these away into Herald of the Arclight. And we will try to set up Herald of the Arclight before we do our combo, so we actually have a monster spell and trap negate on the field that can stop hand traps, right? So that is very good. It is very good if we open well enough to combine the level 2 extender tuners and the level 2 non-tuners to actually get to our Herald of the Arclight to get a negate up before we do our main combo, so we are protected from hand traps. So that basically is the reason why we have this resonator engine, and it gels very well. Because even if we can't set up the Herald, we just have an extender, and that's good. The very last extender we run is one copy of Crusadia Draco. You can special summon this card from your hand to a zone link monster points to. This can be anything, really. He's an extender, but why is he here? He is here because the only level 4 beside him in the deck is Fairy Tale Snow, that we have to send to the graveyard with the Shooting Riser Dragon to get a good level, right? Because 7 minus 4. If we open Fairy Tale Snow, we can send it from the deck and we cannot get the correct level. So that's why we have the Crusadia Draco. It is an extender, so it can be used in the combo as well. But it is also here, if Fairy Tale Snow is opened, we can still combo off. As you've mentioned, almost everything is dark, all of the extenders and all of the starters. So we are running 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. As I said, 70% to open a starter. With Allure of Darkness, that is a lot more. Just helps us better quickly go through our deck, dig for the cards we need. Open 2 extenders, banish 1. Open 2 starters, banish 1, draw 2. You know, just unbricks our hands and just makes it a lot easier, a lot better on ourselves. Last card in the deck is, of course, a Seki one-of, and that will be Called by the Grave. Why set up a Herald if you can just open a Seki one-of? Called by the Grave will also stop hand traps on this combo. Did I already mention this combo gets ruined by hand traps? Well, yes, there we go, going to great lengths to try to protect it from that. That is the main deck. The whole purpose of it is to set up the combo and try to protect it from hand traps. Now we will go ahead and take a look at the extra deck that we use. So first of all, we have to get from our plant starters to our Crystal Halki Fibrex and the level 2 non-tuner to set up the combo. So that's why we use 1, a Rosemary Jasmine, we use 1 Sea Monster of Theseus, and we use 1 Cross Sheep. These 3 cards are imperative to get us to our combo starting point. As you might have noticed, and as I've already mentioned, Evil Thorn and Orphis Scorpior are gonna make 2 copies of themselves, which can easily then go into a Rosemary Jasmine that can tribute another monster points to summon a plant from the deck. And that plant from the deck is obviously going to be Lonefire Blossom, yes. Second of all, we do, as I mentioned, play the Instant Fusion, because Darling Cobra is going to be adding the Instant Fusion to our hand. Instant Fusion then going to go with Theseus. And we can then also summon Cross Sheep, Instant Fusion the Theseus to a zone it points to, revive a plant, and we can set up the combo from there. So these are important to set up our combo. Next card is the Herald of the Arclight. As I've already mentioned, the sole purpose of this card here is to protect us from hand traps. If we can set up this before the combo, we are golden and ready to go. Let's see a hand, for instance, that would be able to do that. For instance, let's say you open Resonator Call, Lonefire Blossom, and a level 2 extender. Let's say, for instance, that would be Gust, the Back Blast. There we go. Okay. So Lonefire Blossom is combo by itself. So for instance, let's say we first have no cards on the field. We summon Gust to the field. We then activate Resonator Call. We add Red Resonator to our hand. We then go Red Resonator, effect to special summon Lonefire Blossom. Okay. Now we do not activate Lonefire Blossom yet because it is going to eat a hand trap. We're first going to do level 2 tuner, level 2 non-tuner into Herald of the Arclight. It is a negate, and then we sack the Lonefire for the effect, because if a hand trap comes, we can protect it with Herald of the Arclight. So that is the whole goal behind using the Herald. Next is the Fable starting point. As we said, the goal to get to that 1 copy of Crystron Halki Fibrex, and then to go through the combo, we're gonna also go through Garden Rose Maiden, of course, Artifact Dagda, because we do play the Scythe, and we will finish on the Crossroads Dragon. Okay, a really interesting array of cards. Crimson Hockey Fabric is obviously going to pull the Red Rose Dragon from the deck. Garden Rose Maiden is going to add Black Garden and add us value that way. Dagda will obviously just set our scythe. Crossroads Dragon is a more interesting one. You will make it with 2 monsters with different types, and during any main phase, so also our opponents, you contribute this card and 1 plant, hint hint, we do have the Garden Rose Maiden, to special summon 1 Rose Synchro Dragon or 1 plant Synchro Monster from our extra deck, and that you can already imagine what is going to be. Of course, Black Rose. So these 4 we are gonna put up on our turn, and then the next card are gonna come down during our opponent's turn to maximally interrupt him. So these are Formula Synchron, coming off the Crimson Hockey Fabrics and also getting us a draw. Black Rose Dragon, coming off of Crossroads Dragon, blowing up the whole field during our opponent's turn. Charistron Phoenix. This one's an interesting one. If he is synchro summoned, he will banish all spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field and in his graveyard. Don't forget that beforehand, Black Rose Dragon has already destroyed all cards on the field, and that will include our Set Artifact Scythe. We're also gonna play the Shooting Riser Dragon. Shooting Riser Dragon point will be to send the Fairy Tale Snow from the deck to the graveyard to reduce his level by 4. And obviously have an active Snow in the graveyard. And the last card we are going to be setting up and we're going to be finishing on is the 1 copy of Satellite Warrior. Satellite Warrior will be summoned at the end of the combo during our opponent's turn. When this card is synchro summoned, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of synchro monsters in your graveyard, and these are going to be all of these 4 here. So that's 4 pops. You destroy them, and he gains 1,000 for each destroyed. So a really big beat stick to finish on. And this is all the cards that we go through our opponent's turn to maximum interrupt him. Now, tell me how many decks can survive a pop, 4, board wipe, Fairy Tale Snow activation, and a back row wipe, plus a Scythe lock, of course. So that is the gist of the combo. This is going to leave us with 2 flag spots in our extra deck, and these are for the follow-up. Remember, we are going to have Garden Rose Maiden in the graveyard after this. That says that you can banish it from the graveyard to special summon 1 Dragon Synchro or Rose Dragon from a graveyard. So we're going to banish the Garden Rose Maiden, and we're going to special summon Rocks Rose Dragon from the graveyard that we used during the combo previously. Its effect is now going to add the second Basil Rose shoot we run. Remember, we run 2 exactly for this. Then we can trigger it to summon that Rocks Rose Dragon from the graveyard, and we will have this set up the following turn without committing the normal summon or without using any cards at all. So that's a good follow-up. Ultimately, when our opponent probably passes after the turn, we can now finish him off. So these 2 flag spots in the extra deck are made for a follow-up. So I decide to play 1 Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres because we are going to be finishing on 2 dragons. But the other thing is that we can also play a level 7, so either another Black Rose Dragon or Black Rose Moonlight Dragon to set up another bounce. Because, do not forget, we are going to be having a Fairy Tale Snow, probably active from using on our opponent's turn, that is going to be jumping on the board, right? And that is a level 4, so we can do a 3 and a 4 into a 7. Another option you can do, which I recommend, and for that you can cut the Heavenly Spheres, and that is you'll have these 2, you'll have also the Snow, and then you can go 7 into one of the dragons, and then with the other 3 into 10, and you can go for Baron, and that is also a very strong follow-up on the next turn. Yes, that is the deck. Let me not mention that this is a going first deck, obviously. So if you have to side for going second, what I would recommend is getting rid of the whole Resonator engine. So getting rid of the whole Resonator engine and maybe getting rid of half of all of the extenders, because after all, we do have a 96% chance to open an extender, so we can cut on that. We will also cut all the Resonators because we do not need a Herald of the Arclight anymore if we're going second, right? Hand traps don't matter. It's all about breaking boards. So cut all of these and put in all those powerful board breakers. We're talking about Dark Cooler No More, Forbidden Droplet, even Ragakian Lightning Storms. Whatever you need to break his board, and then you can still combo, right? So that is the plan on going second. However, it is always better to go first, obviously. this is how the deck works. This is we build the deck around that one combo. As let me remind you, the link to the big grandiose combo, it is in the description below. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a nice day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.